Ladies and gentlemen, so we've been temporarily given access to a maxed out Thor Ragnarok via the content creator program, and I wanted to do quite a bit of testing on this character to kind of determine, exactly how good he is, because I got the 3-star version, and the 3-star version sucks. It's so bad because it's missing the Hulk synergy, which is a really pivotal point to the character, and at the moment, just as a heads up in terms of synergies, we're playing with Hulk, and also triple X-Men. We have Cyclops, we have Magneto, and also Wolverine as the synergies. But I wanted to take this character into Act 5 to see how he fares, and this fight in particular, it made me a little bit more interested in Thor Ragnarok. So we get to the special 3, as you can see, we've done like crap all damage so far, but now we just go absolutely Super Saiyan mode, and it just wrecks Daredevil. Granted, we had some crazy RNG there, but this is the point with Thor Ragnarok where I went, okay, I'm a little bit more interested in this character now. So I just kept on testing him out in Act 5. We have some really cool fights to show you today. So just as a heads up, for Ragnarok, he does not have any regeneration unless paired with Hela. The regeneration in this video is coming from the Life Transfer chapter, which is just a really great chapter for kind of testing champions' damage output and gameplay, because essentially you're not really going to die unless you make too many mistakes. And I think we make a few mistakes here. I'm not too sure exactly what we get hit by. But yeah, we do make a little bit of a mistake here, and it messes up our combo. And also, that's one of the things of Thor Ragnarok, is he's a character that, because of the way that his power gain works every 40 hits, if you get that messed up, it can be really detrimental to some of the character's damage output. And I think I messed up using the special 2 there. This is one of my my first fights in Chapter 3, but as you can see, we took a couple of hits there. But because of the power gain taking us to a special 3 via the 40 hits, we were already at a special 3 to instantly heal up via the life transfer there. So that kind of, although we messed up, it kind of worked out alright there. Kind of worked out alright, but we lost, a lot of damage output. He could have been down via special 2 right after that special 3, but he still dropped very shortly after that. The very common theme when playing Thor Ragnarok is his reliance on a special 3 attack, and that the champion is very meh. Very underwhelming if you don't have the champion awakened, and if you don't have the Hulk synergy, he's very meh until you get to the special 3. But if you have him awakened, if you've got 60 dupe levels in the character and the Hulk synergy, which is a lot of requirements, once you get to that special 3, it's just so much fun from then on out. But building up to that is just, it's so slow, it's very underwhelming, but there's something, I don't know, that's just, it's grown on me very slowly about having this god mode once you reach the special 3. So once you reach the special 3, any physical contact with the opponent has a 40% chance to apply a shock, which doesn't really deal that much damage, but also every time you apply a shock, it has a 16% chance to stun, and then if you stun the opponent, then that deals 250% of your attack instantly, so it's a really big burst there. Also, for every 40 hits that you gain on your combo, you get a power gain that from wherever you are at currently, it takes you up to 100%. So, if you are at like 35 hits and then you use the special 3 has 6 hits, you'll go to 41, and you'll get the power gain right off the bat. And the kind of ideal plan, I believe, for these shorter fights is to build up to the special 3. Use it when you're on about, on average, it's going to be about 35 hits. Then you use your special 3, it propels you over that 40 threshold, and then you'll have that power gain instantly, and then try and get a 5 combo, and you should be able to throw off a special 2 there. And for a lot of fights, you can then use a second special 2, and then the fight's going to be done. So it's a really good way of kind of dispatching with these fairly stacked opponents, and it's a bit of a different rotation, bit of a different playstyle from other champions out there at the moment. I think some people will really like this playstyle, and I feel like a lot of other people Mainly the quick and efficient people, like myself, aren't really going to have a huge amount of use for it overall, aside from when you just want to play this character for purely fun reasons. I don't think, by any standard, he's a game-changing character, but I think in some ways he's kind of a nice addition to the game. Like, I think he's a pretty good champion to play under the right circumstances. I do not like that there's a lot of build-up to the right circumstances, but, you know, eventually if you get this character as a 4-star, you get him awakened, and you have a scenario where you can pair him with Hulk just for general questing fun, I think he's going to be just an awesome, awesome character for a lot of people to play. However, if we want to draw comparisons, though, I think Thor Ragnarok is very lacking in comparison to some of the stuff that Blade and Gwenpool can do. He certainly has his uses once you get to the special 3, because every shock has a 15% ability accuracy reduction, but combined with the stun, which also, you know, if you have the, I believe it's the Pacify Mastery, which gives you ability accuracy reduction on any stunned opponent, that is a really, really strong ability accuracy reduction whenever you're kind of in this Super Saiyan mode, because on average, it looks like you're going to have about 3 to 4 stacks of shock active most of the time, so that is, you know, on average, about a 75 to 90% ability accuracy reduction once you've gone in that Super Saiyan mode. However, for the practicality of dealing with most champions that, you know, require you to have swift ability accuracy reduction like magic, I think when it comes to stuff like Alliance War, Thor Ragnarok is going to be way too slow for that, and not really the best option for a lot of people to bring. I think Blade is a significantly better champion for pretty much every scenario than Thor Ragnarok. Maybe those super long fights for Ragnarok might rear ahead a little bit, but Blade's ability to infinitely regen, I think, you know, has made him the top skill character, and along with his danger sense, just fantastic mystic counter. So I think that the battle for the best skill champion at the moment really resides between Gwenpool and Blade. I think Thor Ragnarok is kind of more around the slightly lower tier of your champions like Elektra, like Black Widow and Crossbones. So that's kind of where, you know, I'm initially placing him, which is still in Demigod tier, still very, very powerful champion. And if you saw the Winter Soldier video that we did yesterday, he managed to get Winter Soldier down, I believe it was around 280 hits, which is still some really, really good damage output. That's kind of similar to Drax. That was, I think, the nearest comparable champion in terms of damage, but I guess for Ragnarok, to a certain extent, he has some advantages over Drax, you know, with his special 3 ability accuracy reduction and stun, but simultaneously, Drax has the advantage of not really having to be awakened and not relying on that Hulk synergy. So while I think Thor Ragnarok in the right scenarios is a very strong damage-dealing champion and a really good addition to your team, when he is unawakened or you don't have that Hulk synergy, I don't think he's really going to be a champion that you want to play. You know, if you want to play Thor Ragnarok, you need that Hulk synergy ideally, because that is 60% additional attack, and if you don't have him awakened, you don't have this crazy god mode, so it just makes the character very, very meh, very, very useless. So that's one of the things that I'm not overly fond of when it comes to Thor Ragnarok, is that reliance on having all of these additional criteria instead of a champion just being good on its own. So anyway, yeah, those are some of my my earlier thoughts on Thor Ragnarok. We're going to do a very in-depth champion review on this character tomorrow and talk about, you know, aspects of the game where he might excel in and kind of some of his best matchups. Maybe some additional stuff, but I need to have a little bit more of a think. But I think today, kind of bringing this character into Act 5 has made this character grow on me a little bit more. So I'm interested to do a little bit more testing over the next 24 hours. To try and find any kind of interesting scenarios or matchups where this character might excel even further. But as you can see here, we're beating up the Iron Patriot. Didn't get a very good evade there. Damn, we're playing like absolute ass in this matchup. But this is quite an interesting one and a very good showcase of how his shock ability accuracy reduction can bypass certain effects. In this case, Iron Patriot's regeneration manages to completely ignore that. I'm not too sure. I think we just have the shocks active here. I don't think it's any stun going in for this. Oh, we got the stun active as well while pushing through that threshold. So yeah, while we were going Below that regeneration threshold on Iron Patriot, we had like a 75% ability accuracy reduction, so really, really cool stuff there. And then the final matchup we have is Venom. And I guess one of my other observations about playing Thor Ragnarok, and this is maybe a little bit more apparent in a matchup like Venom, I think that the matchups where you can't go super aggressive and just go ham, where you need to play a little bit slower, baiting out those special ones. If the AI won't play into you, and, you know, it's eating up a lot of time because your special free buff and your Super Saiyan mode is all based off time, so if you're spending a lot of time trying to bait specials, that can be a very, very negative thing for Ragnarok and cause you to lose an absurd amount of damage output. So yeah, I'm kind of interested to see, you know, if anybody's ever going to do Labyrinth for this character and how that run might go. But I think for the majority of people, you know, if you're going to do Labyrinth for this character, you need him as a 5-star, you need to have him awakened, you got to have him at a good dupe level, which is probably going to be over 60 or so to get a decent duration on his, what is it, God of Thunder ability. So yeah, it's a lot of criteria, you know, if you want to bring this character to Labyrinth in comparison to a character like Starkanaut and Spider-Man, which is just like, just bring the unawakened character and he's good enough on his own. So yeah, it's there are pros and cons, but we'll discuss that a little bit more in tomorrow's full review of the character. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed some of this Thor Ragnarok Act 5 gameplay. If you did, leave a like, share with your alliance. Apart from that, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.